that's the lovely thing about their relationship, is they are both able to be truly themselves around each other.
And now we're going to take a look at our first clip, Call Me By My Name.
And you should know something about me, Your Grace. I will not have this go wrong.
You mean our ruse?
It's more than a ruse now. It is more than a negotiation. This is not just about finding the best match to impress Lady Whistledown, or the Queen, or any member of the ton. This is about a life, Your Grace. My life. And I must finally take charge of it. I cannot afford to do otherwise. So I shall not have this go wrong. And if you are not in agreement, then you should tell me now.
I shall agree. On one condition.
You do not understand, Your Grace.
That you call me Simon. If we are truly to seem to be courting, if this is to be a match like no other, then you should call me by my name.
Very well. Simon.
Regé and Phoebe, how do Simon and how do your characters represent modern romance?
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, as you can see from the clip, it wasn't often that they would call each other by their names when, or even, I mean, when they're married, often they didn't. So that was sort of the lovely thing about getting to play them, and also the reason why their story, I think, is so unique in the context of Regency England, because they've made a plan together, so there's no pressure there. They're not courting each other. There's no sort of pretense that they're putting on with each other. It's a genuine and actual friendship. But by the end of it, they really form like a real friendship and have a real sort of banter with each other, which is it's really lovely to play. And I think is what you don't see when sort of Daphne's with the other suitors, that she's not able to be herself. And I think that's the lovely thing about their relationship, is they are both able to be truly themselves around each other. And I think that's why they sort of, end up really falling for each other.
Phoebe, what themes in the show do you feel still ring true today?
In general, the themes, yeah.
Yes, in terms of romance and relationships.
In terms of romance and relationships, well, something that's quite interesting, I don't think I've talked about this much, with the relationship between Daphne and Simon. There's something to be said about, I think men, and I think Regé's touched on this, but that sort of the brooding, mysterious stereotype that we've seen a lot in romance, especially, which is quite appealing to a woman, quite attractive to a woman, and I think, that is very appealing in some ways, but also that there can be sort of a darkness behind that. And what I find interesting about their relationship is they've obviously come from very different places, and Daphne is, really wants to. She's empathetic. She wants to know him. She wants to sort of look after him. She's got that female instinct, and it's lucky that Simon is a really genuinely good person, who has a good heart and good intentions. But I think there's something to be said for relationships where that is not the case, and so it's exploring those themes as well, which are quite modern themes, because women always have that instinctual thing in them, I think. And also, it's it's love, and love. It's all it's always the same throughout time. So even though we're filming in 1813, it's something that we still can relate to today. Love is love. People are people at the end of the day. So yeah.
And certainly in their relationship, they operate more as equals in some of the other relationships that are depicted in the show.
They find an equal in each other, which at the time is relatively revolutionary. Kind of when you're operating in an environment where you're meant to be almost buying a wife at the mart and joining families as a power move, there's something extraordinary about finding someone who can stand up to you at your level. I think both these characters are extraordinarily intelligent. They're used to being the smartest person in the room. And so finding someone who can go toe to toe with them, who is significant enough to be an equal partner on all levels, is hugely exciting to both characters. But also, as Phoebe was saying, allows this kind of dark, brooding, defensive archetype to have to become vulnerable, to have to discover how to offer more of himself in order to actually be able to love and be loved, in order to be stronger than he can be on his own. And that's the revolutionary realization that we work towards the whole series. I always think of Simon almost as more of an anti-hero. He's the adversary in this that Daphne has to break down before she can reach the true heart of him.
Now, Simon, how did you do research for the role?
We were incredibly well prepared in terms of endless etiquette lessons, dance lessons, horse riding, boxing. But the joy is that it all kind of comes one. Everything is in communication. The first thing that I always do when researching any period role, even in the modern day, because that's just a period that we're familiar with, is look at what people are listening to, what the music is, what the literature is. And then from there, what the dances are like, what's the body language? How does that change depending on status? How does body language change depending on people's hobbies, like the horse riding or the fighting? And we had so much of this that a lot of that starts to do its own work. You know, you're in your riding boots all day and you're in these great big glamorous clothes. And so you start to relate to each other very differently. And we were lucky enough to have the source material of 8 books worth of a world already built for us. So we were spoiled in terms of research opportunities.
And Chris, how did the casting of Julie Andrews, the great Julie Andrews, as Whistledown, how did that take place? Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, Julie Andrews was at the top of our list to play the voice of Lady Whistledown from the beginning. And, you know, we offered her the part, never in a million years thinking that she would say yes because she's Julie Andrews. But she ended up, you know, reading the scripts and loving the scripts and falling in love with this world. And she signed on. And it's been such a delight working with her. She's been absolutely incredible. I think, you know, one thing I'm really excited for audiences to hear are the words that get to come out of Julie Andrews' mouth as Lady Whistledown, because she gets to say some of the most scathing things, but always in her bright signature Julie Andrews kind of way. So having her has been so much fun, and definitely those voiceover lines were some of, you know, the most fun I had writing the show.